Yeah, so this is the latest one that you did.
It's the latest one that I finished.
Right.
Correct.
And you were
I
saying
think there's a nice flow to it, that's all.
Absolutely, but you were also saying the colors were unusual.
Yeah.
Which was why?
Just because they were the only colors I had left. That's why that new supply of pencils
is important.
Is really important and really great.
So you were down to mainly stubs, and these were the only ones that were long enough to do something with.
I wasn't using stubs for this.
Right, they were the only bigger
the stubs
ones.
Were so short.
You couldn't even.
They hurt my fingers.
Right.
To use them. I mean, I could use them in a pinch, but
right, or for a very small area, but
a little area. But
you're working these for a long time.
I mean,
right.
Pink isn't my favorite color, and
I love the way the magenta, this kind of cobalt blue, and this peachy pink, and then the silver. I think is really important. The silver, and that you didn't do a whole lot of it, but it's just
just enough.
That gives it a breathing space. If you didn't have that silver, it'd still be a nice drawing, but the silver seems really important.
There was an area where it works really great, but
maybe over here?
Yeah.
I like it. I'd say, and you've got a tiny bit up here too. Yeah. Oh, that's a beauty.
No, I like the silver.
Yeah, you use the metallics.
Over here, there's quite a bit.
Yeah. I've seen you use the metallics really effectively before.
Yeah.
We look at, wow. Yeah, now I guess I'll put the old, what kind of order do you want them in? Should I put it under?
Turn it over.
Turn it over, right. And then it'll end up just the way
top.
It was. Right, yeah. And then, wow, this one's amazing, Dad.
This one goes this way.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see the signature. Wow. I love this one.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty spectacular.
Yes, it feels very rainforesty. To somebody who spent a lot of time in the rainforest, this feels like a kind of abstracted.
Use that in the title.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Sort of like an abstract. I mean, this really feels just everything. It's like, this is sort of like papaya orange and then the greens. It just feels... And these feel kind of palm-like. I mean, kind of like a stylized rainforest.
I like the towers. Towers of power.
Right. Reminds me like if Mondrian tried to do something more organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
There are a lot of ideas in that one.
What were you thinking about when you were working on it?
These were sort of like pyramids. There's some of them.
Yep. Coming up here, right. And here. Yeah. Here.
Then I like the bisecting rows. It breaks it up and makes it a lot more interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, the longer you look at it, you see all different things going on. It's really
within these circles. They were the last parts that I worked on because they were sort of like a statement in itself.
Right. And they feel, to me, kind of like, this almost looks like an avocado in the open pit, like some kind of fruit with a seed inside of it. Yeah.
If you look at that upside down, it looks like a face with a long neck.
Right. Oh, I can see that even this way. Yeah. If I reverse it in my head. Yeah. This way is reminding me of an open avocado with a pit or some kind of tropical fruit or something. Yeah.
I don't use white very often.
No.
But it can be used effectively.
It certainly is here. Yeah. Once again, it's sort of doing the same thing that the silver was in the last one.
Yeah.
Like giving a little breathing space.
Yeah.
Because there is so much going on. But, wow.
Oh, this one has, turn it around upside down.
Okay.
There's subtle
Oh yeah.
silver and gold.
Yeah, I was reading that more as brown, the way the light was hitting it from down here. Well, this is brown, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I can see, now the way the light's hitting it, I can see the metallic. And it looks like here you did a little gold and silver.
Under a light, the
That
gold
really
the
pops.
gold shows up.
Right.
And the silver usually shows up pretty well, however.
Right. Yeah, it's a little more, maybe-
They're harder to use, though, the metallics,
Yeah,
to get them to cover well.
right. So they need more layers. Yeah.
So I just use them minimally,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
but they can be effective. So
definitely. Definitely. I like metallics. Yeah. Wow, I like this right in here, the way it gets so tiny.
yeah, but you can see why I'm not turning out.
No.
One a
no.
week.
Oh my God. No. What did you say? About one a month, or is it roughly?
About a month, maybe
About
3 weeks. Sometimes.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Depends on how much time I spend each
Right.
in a day.
Right. So maybe you're doing about maybe 14 or 15 a year or something.
At least,
Yeah. More than one a month, but not like 2 a month. Right.
I used to average about 15 or 20.
20 a year.
But
yeah.
not with these.
Yeah, these are super.
It'll cut down on.
They're amazing. No, I can tell this one is.
I just thought it'd be more fun.
Yeah, you can see that something like this would take a lot longer than like the one on the wall behind us, which is an incredible one.
Some of those on the wall I did in one day.
Yeah.
Maybe
right.
2.
2, yeah.
That one took a little more time because it's.
That's pretty
chalk.
involved. Yeah.
And to keep from smearing is always a lot.
Project, right.
Until I sprayed it with fixative.
Yeah. Well, this is incredible, Dad. I love this one. Yeah. Very beautiful. Wow. And this one, okay, I'm looking at it the correct orientation. Right. Wow. What were you thinking about in this one?
It's hard to remember.
Right. Yeah. No,
while
that's
I'm
okay.
working on
right.
it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're thinking a lot of different things. but
They're
yeah.
like one-eyed people.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see one-eyed
across
people.
the top.
Right. You can even see a two-eyed face too.
Yeah.
But yeah, very organic. Yeah. As all of your work tends to be. Yeah.
And just enough green to set it off.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, so this would be, I mean, this looks extremely time consuming too. Maybe a little less time than this one, but still.
And
really
I like
involved.
the reds because they're not bright red.
Right.
They're just a soft red.
Yeah, more orange and vermilion kind of, as opposed to just.
That works.
Yeah.
No, I was pleased with this one.
Absolutely. Too. Yeah. No, let's keep going.
I try and always get a rhythm to them.
Oh, they
while
definitely.
I'm doing them.
Yeah. Okay, and this one I see goes like, I'll turn the whole stack so we're not seeing.
Have you seen this one before?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think when I was up here the last time, we actually we meant to look at them and we were so busy talking and catching up, and then we did the taping. I don't think we ever got to, because I remember saying, I think right before I was leaving, we need to still look at the drawings, and I think you said, oh, that's okay, we'll look at all of them next time you're here.
Yeah.
So I have not seen this one. I love the colors of this.
I like the brightness of this one.
This feels very tropical
Yeah.
too, sort of aquatic and tropical.
I like the circular pattern. This one's just as interesting this way.
Right.
But it works better the other way.
Do you, yeah, I agree. It is better the other way. Do you usually decide the orientation at the very end or at some point that you're working on it?
Yeah, fairly early in the
Fairly
game.
early, right? Right.
It becomes pretty obvious which way I want to hold it.
Right.
And I know I don't want to hold it horizontally.
Right.
And I always do a vertical one and then a horizontal one.
Oh, you alternate.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
So I don't get sidetracked and do them all the same way.
Right. Sort of just keeps
It's
your
nice.
mind working.
They have the variety.
Right. Interesting.
Because you can do different things with the different
Sure. Right.
length and width of the paper.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've worked on this one size paper for a very long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, because I have
Have a lot of it.
half
right.
a ream or more
But
of
I
it.
think it makes it, and I loved, like, at the Swedish Museum, I was telling Dave that I've told a few other people how, remember the guy at the Swedish Museum, I don't remember his name, that hung the work, and it was his idea he had some vertical and some horizontal, and then he did it like an installation and had the outer perimeter of all the drawings make one giant square. Remember at the Swedish Museum?
Oh, yeah.
That was such a great idea
Oh, I
of
do.
his. And,
Yeah, it
and I
was.
don't think he was really even billed as a curator. He was like the guy who hung the shows, but they were kind of like a little family over there. I mean, that was such a great idea of his, I
Yeah.
mean, he could have just hung them, more
No,
regular
he
old
had
style, but that was such a great
a super
idea.
idea.
Right.
There-
And difficult to do. I mean, that's a lot of math to make it all work out, because
Yeah.
he had them going both
Yeah,
ways, and
yeah.
then he did it really quickly.
It's like a puzzle. But
Right. Yeah, this is a beauty. I love the colors. This feels very tropical to me
That's
too.
when I still had more color
Right.
choices.
Yeah. Yeah, the purples and the lime greens and the aqua are really beautiful.
Yeah, I always run out of purple because I
Yeah.
like using it.
Yeah, if you ever need like extras of a certain color, I can always get them for you at Blick, and you know what
Yeah.
I mean, like a color that
Yeah.
before it gets to a total stub, let me know. And this reminds me a bit of the colors of that this one,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, a lot of
goes
green.
this
It
way.
goes okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Yep. Yeah.
There are, some similarities
Yep.
because the artist is the same person.
Right, and this is your style. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but each one is quite unique as well, although some relate more to others, obviously.
But if you like
yeah,
the style,
right.
then you're going to like the drawings.
And it's interesting to see similar ideas played out in different pieces,
Yeah.
in different ways. I mean, that's what makes a body of work. You don't want everything completely different. It's interesting to see all the different ways you
I
work
like
with.
the way the blue works. Mm-hmm. I didn't use much of it,
Yeah,
but it makes a good focal point.
right.
And the different yellows work pretty well too.
Right.
And orange isn't my favorite color to use either, but it goes with the colors I was using, so
Absolutely. Yeah.
it made a nice change.
No, it's interesting the way you can see, like, even just a little square like that
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
a beautiful composition just on its own. I mean, it's almost like there's.
Yeah, I treat each area
Yeah.
as
Yeah, it seems almost any area, it's
Yeah.
interesting, you could isolate and
like,
make a.
like that whole slice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun one too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and this has a little more of the lines left. Like you
Yeah,
go back
yeah.
and forth with that too. Some are much more like this is the first one in this batch where you're seeing the lines
Yeah.
much at all. But you have other ones that become
Yeah.
quite
yeah.
linear and much more about the line. This is sort of a hybrid, sort of in between this and the more linear ones.
Again, the very little bit of white works in an interesting way.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've seen this one either. Yeah, I'm not sure how many because, like I said, I don't think this one I may have seen. Wow, it's a beauty. Yeah, and you've got a lot of the silver and gold in this.
Haven't I signed this one?
Yeah, let's see. I'm looking for a signature. No, I don't think you did.
I don't think I have.
No, what way is it oriented? Or do you sometimes put it on the back?
This way.
This way. Wow. I love this whole part here, the way like that lavender works with the red and the
They're
this
like puzzle
purple.
pieces.
Yeah, they are, right. Yeah, and that's interesting. You only have the lavender just in this one spot, Yeah, it's like this whole thing is a different color than here and here.
Yeah, it's just nice to have the variety.
Right.
This is gold and silver again.
Right.
A lot more than on.
Yeah, I noticed that right
any
away.
of the others.
Definitely. You must
under a light. If it hits
certain
it right,
light, right? I can see it would really.
Really look neat.
Mm-hmm.
If you had it in a gallery, you'd have to have the light adjusted just
right,
so
right.
it hits it right.
I like here this muted red where you've gone over the red.
Yeah.
And even the way it's sort of almost
breaks
looks like
up,
a texture
yeah.
breaks up. Yeah, is very effective.
Intentionally,
Right. No, I figured it's intentional. Right. And these ribbons that go this way.
represents a lot of time and effort.
Absolutely.
But I enjoy it. That's the only time I don't hurt is when I'm drawing.
Because you just forget all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's probably good for sleep and, state of mind. I mean, they feel very...
Here's my signature.
Oh, so it is there. Yep. Okay.
So
it was hard to see
did have
with
it
the
the
silver.
right way for
you did. Yep.
It's just in pencil. That's why it
right. Oh, do you do it in
show
pencil first, or
no?
No, you just happen to.
That's what I happened to do it with that day.
Right.
Sometimes I can't find a pen that will take.
Oh, that will go over the shininess.
Yeah.
Of it. Right.
But I've got a pen now that will.
Right on
I can
any
sign
of it.
Yeah. So it's a lot better. I should re-sign.
Probably should, go over it. I don't know if you can go over the same one, or you could could you put silver over the pencil
erase,
and then it'll erase. Okay, and just
I can
redo
fix it up.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. This one kind of relates to a couple other ones.
Yeah, it's similar to it.
Right. That
but
first
I enjoy doing
those. And each one is different, but you just see a relation color-wise, especially.
There's an interesting rhythm to each of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'd be really neat to see, like we saw the ones in the Swedish Museum show, like a bunch of these framed so that you could see them, all working together and which ones. And I think I remember this one. You were talking about cities, I think, in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
bridges.
Right, bridges, right.
Over
remember, it was
here.
like kind of architectural, right.
It's like two different worlds.
Uh-huh.
Apartment buildings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this feels almost like letters from like another you know, language that uses characters obviously different
Yeah,
than
picking
ours.
the
Yeah.
different letters.
Yeah, they really, well, even that looks like an E, but I mean, it looks like Greek letters or, you know what I mean? Some other alphabet than we use. Yeah. And it also kind of reminds me of like a Chinese temple or something too. Like this feels kind of temple-like, this middle part. Yeah, like maybe bridges to a temple.
Another time when you come, you can help me. We name them all of them.
Sure, that'd be fun. Yeah. You haven't specifically named them yet.
No.
Yeah, right.
Have you signed them?
Yes. He has. Yeah, I really like this one a lot. And I think I don't even know if I saw this one finished. I know I saw it started, so this might be, I don't know where I saw it, 'cause I don't believe I've seen this one finished. I definitely remember, so I remember you talking about architectural elements with it. This is a really cool one. Try naming the next one. And this one goes, I think, I feel like this flips around, and indeed it does. There's the signature.
Yeah.
I remember this one. Yeah.
That one's figurative.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if he's a devil or what he is, but with a strange pitchfork
Uh-huh.
or fingers that can
Yeah, they look almost,
run you through.
yeah, they look kind of flame-like. Yeah. Do you begin with an image in your head?
No. Sometimes an image forms very quickly. Usually, once I get one line on, I pretty much know what direction it's going to go in, and then the ideas develop rapidly. The most fun of doing these drawings is laying them out at first. I use a shade of brown usually to create all the shapes.
I thought you do, right, you do all the shapes first,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Do you ever add any shapes after the
No.
initial? No. That's what I would
I
think.
don't start using color
Right.
until I've developed the idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes I add as it develops.
You might add a
like
detailed
the
area.
one I'm working on has a lot of development to still go. You know,
Right.
it isn't nearly finished yet, as far as in the developmental stage.
Right.
But it'll come to me as I work on it.
Right.
But I put on jazz music and grab my pencils and start working. The music helps a lot keep me in the mood.
Right. Kind of keep the flow going.
Yeah. The jazz station isn't quite as good as it used to be.
Really? Since they've been streaming it, is a
They don't play quite as many records.
Uh-huh.
They've got a fabulous record collection, but they've turned a lot of it into talk,
Oh.
which is cheaper apparently
Oh.
and easier for them to make. They barely need a disc jockey to
Uh-huh.
keep changing the records. Usually aren't very short. They're old. I mean, they are short.
Uh-huh.
Sharon, can you scooch in just a...
Yeah. Is it Pandora that you're talking about? Do you listen to the jazz streamed, or how are you listening to your jazz?
On the FM.
Just FM radio. Yeah.
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 WXRT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's serious.
Sirius. Right. It's not XRT. That wouldn't be jazz. Yeah. But okay. Wow.
I have plenty of CDs I can
Right.
5 of those in and
Oh, at a time. And
change them, but I don't get around to changing them often enough.
yeah. Yeah, I remember this one. Yep. And this one goes like this. Yeah, looked like a horizontal.
You see, yeah, over here.
Yep, over
That
there.
one's in pencil too.
It's a really nice use of the silver. Yeah, here, let's do it like this.
I like
so we're
the
not,
simplicity
being,
of color in that one.
Yeah, very Mondrianish, the colors. Yeah. I mean,
And that's when I still had a bright red.
uh-huh.
I like the bright red and the bright blue. They
Yeah.
always go. And then the silver complements it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I used any gold, no.
Nope. Yeah, and then the lighter blue against
2 shades of yellow.
Yep.
But the red's all bright red.
Mm-hmm. All the same, right.
And
It
the
looks-
blue's all bright blue, except for the
Except for
background.
this, yeah, this lighter. Yeah. Yeah, I love this. Yeah, once
the
again.
light blue
yeah.
works as background.
Mm-hmm. Now this almost feels like kind of, if you look right in here, almost like it's splitting into 4 quadrants. I mean, your eye can see so many different things, but like I just saw like kind of 4, almost 4 equal quadrants being
Yeah.
divided. Keep going. Yeah. And this one, okay, it's down here. Yeah, so this is a good bit less complex than like that super complex one
Yeah.
that was on the top of the pile, but still plenty complex. And yeah.
I like it for.
Oh, I do too. I like the big
simplicity.
shapes. Right. Not everything, each one has its own beauty.
It's fun to do something like that because I can, turn them out faster.
Right. Even the way you're using I like when you do this where it's more grainy,
Yeah.
but that's probably less layers than.
I like to leave the grain.
Right. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Right.
Yeah.
Which, this is a grainier one. Which, when you have it really smooth, I'm assuming that's more layers, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, I like the purple and the blue, light blue,
Right.
the lighter colors.
Mm-hmm.
And the very pale yellow.
Mm-hmm. Right. That almost is working like a white or a cream. Yeah. No, it's just one.
What do you think has the most influence over you? The line, the form, the shape, or the color?
What has the most influence over you? The form, shape, line, or color?
Uh,
Are any of them predominant? Does it change between
yeah,
drawings?
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Probably the line and color. Although the shapes are important. They're all important. They need to work together.
Yeah, seems to me like it's kind of a dance. I mean, you know better than me, but to me it feels like it's a dance between all of those,
Yeah.
the line, the shapes, the colors, the forms, and how they all work together.
How does this relate to the artwork that you remember when you were like in your 20s?
This one has a background and a foreground.
Right, more than
it's
some that we've been looking at today.
It's more like a cityscape or something.
Yeah, and similar to the one that you said was figurative in that it has
Yeah.
more of a foreground, background.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dave was asking me, how does this work relate to what I remember when I was much younger? And back a long time ago, my dad was painting more, which you don't have any of the paintings.
There's a
up in
big
this room.
painting in the bedroom
Okay, yeah.
by the bed.
But yeah, he was working in.
And there are 2 paintings in
Yeah.
the drawing room.
Right, we'll have to look at those.
Well, I
But
was just-
No, I was
wondering
primarily
how
a
his
painter.
style has changed
well, it's
to him.
yeah, to you. I didn't know who you were talking. You said since I was young, so I thought you were asking
I
me.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
How do you feel your style has changed over the years?
When what?
How your style or way of approaching
Oh.
artwork has changed over, I don't know, the last 40 years, 50 years? You've been making art a long time. But how do you feel like it's... I mean, I know you work more in pencil than in painting in the past, but just, I guess, overall.
I used to do pencil drawings that were fairly close to these with just black and white. I didn't use any color. I hadn't started using color particularly until I started painting. But when I was at the Art Institute, I always had 2 or 3 paintings going, big paintings. Because I was in graduate school and a lot of the studio courses were undergraduate, I just sort of kick people off at a couple of easels, and I just work right through about 3 or 4 different classes. I'd listen to what they were saying and talking about, but I just keep working on the painting. I was using a lot more turpentine and to almost get watercolor effects, and then I'd build them up and sometimes just use a spatula to put the paint on and then work it in and create textured areas. If you see, there were a lot of those hanging around the house.
Right.
And the last ones I did in graduate school was a whole series in a summer session at Northwestern. And that was a great class. And I don't know if they're really finished. I haven't ever determined whether I really finished them all or not. I should get those out again, because you'd find those interesting.
That would be fun to see.
The brush I used had a big plastic handle, and the end of it was beveled. I don't know if you've seen it. It was green, and it was a wide brush, about not quite an inch wide, but maybe 3/4 of an inch wide. And it was great for starting paintings. And that tapered end was great because it was plastic and it didn't have hard edges. It wasn't going to cut the canvas or poke through it.
Right.
So I could deal with the surface. And you could see that in some of the paintings. But those hung around the house for a long time.
Okay. I'm sure I'd be familiar with them. Right.
Not the very last ones that I did at Northwestern, because they are framed. And I mean, they don't have a hard frame, but they're on a wood frame.
Right.
Like all canvas.
A stretcher.
Is.
Right.
Stretchers.
Right.
Yeah. So they could be hung just from the stretchers if you tack a little trim around, which is about all I ever did.
I like the way you just put the trim around it.
Yeah.
It gave a little bit of definition, but not overpowering.
Not much.
Yeah.
That way, it was convenient to stack them to travel, because I'd always leave about 1/4 of an inch.
Oh, so it left a little
protruding.
space between the canvases. You didn't have to worry about them touching or
or sticking together or anything.
Right. Especially when you were working in oils.
It's a good thing to do if you're.
Yeah.
because that's dangerous if you put a canvas
Right,
on
canvas next to canvas.
Yeah.
That's interesting that way you remember that brush so clearly. I also get really attached to some little tool, and it might be sort of an ordinary tool, but you learn
If
just
it-
what
if
it
it
can
works.
or can't do, right?
Yeah.
And you get rather attached to it.
Yeah, I didn't even paint with it after a while. I
Yeah.
just used it for moving the paint around.
Uh-huh. Yeah, wow. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah. Now there's one where the line is really
Yeah.
super important. So I think back to Dave's question, like this one, I would say the line is quite important.
That's where
Yeah.
the line is important,
Right.
for sure.
Extremely important. Well, the line's in all of them because that's how you start. But here, the end one features the line.
I thought that one would always be good in stained glass.
Absolutely. It would make a beautiful stained glass window. You could even see it really large, like in a modern,
Yeah.
church or cathedral.
Yeah,
Would be
yeah.
really effective. I mean, even like 8 feet by 5 feet or something,
Yeah.
I could see it working on a quite large scale. And it also feels very plant-like to me, I mean, these look like, that's very, like new
I was
growth.
happy with that.
Yeah, I remember this one. Because I remember really liking it. Yeah, it's a great one. Yeah. Has a lot of rhythm. These almost feel like, it feels plant-like to me, but also almost like, what do these remind me of? Like corpuscles inside the body or something. Like, there's some almost internal organ references, I feel like, as well as very plant-like.
Does your dad have influences?
What Dave asked, what kind of influence, what kind of artists influenced you as a young artist, or now?
Probably the one that influenced me the most was Robert Stipe at Northwestern. Again, even though I got my degree from Wisconsin, I went to Northwestern for a couple of summers. I was teaching grammar school kids, high school kids, both, in summer sessions at one of the public schools in Highland Park, at Ravinia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd hurry into Northwestern because I was only taking, I think, that one class to work toward the degree. Wisconsin had agreed to accept it. Anyway, Stipe made me think about what I was trying to do. And he had us do our worst drawing first, do something commercial, something that's really trite.
Uh-huh.
So we all tried to do that. It wasn't a big class, so it was nice.
Uh-huh.
There were only about 10 of us. And then work toward doing something that you think is pretty good. And then he had us analyze what we had done and what we liked about it. And then he, after we had batted that around for a while, he suggested that maybe we should try abstracting what we've been doing and see if you could put together some new ideas. So that's how I got on to...
So you were working representationally at
Yes.
that point. So
Yeah.
then that was kind of your first leap into
Yes.
abstraction.
Yes,
Interesting.
all of my work before that had been realistic.
Right.
not super realistic.
Right,
I
you were pretty expressive.
I never was in the
Yeah.
fool the eye,
Right, not what's that called? Like not realism for realism's sake. Your work was always more expressive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, more creative, I thought.
Right,
But
yeah.
so that's how I got into.
Interesting.
I did some of my first drawings without any specific
Subject matter.
subject matter, and he liked what I turned out, and I liked what I turned out.
Interesting. So he was kind of a breakthrough teacher.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a neat guy. I followed him for a while.
What was his work like? What was his
yeah.
work like? Yeah.
I don't know for sure, because he never had a one-man show or anything.
Oh, so you didn't see that much of it. Yeah.
No, I didn't see I saw very little of his work.
Huh.
But from the way he talked, I imagine it was fairly abstract.
Aha. Maybe we can Google him and see if anything comes up.
You could try.
Robert Stipe, right?
Stipe.
S-T-I-P-E.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Stipe. Yeah.
That's how you'd spell it.
Right. Wow. Interesting. So when you were at Madison, you were still working realistically and representationally here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so it was a couple years after Madison that you
While
started.
I was still going to Wisconsin,
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to do some paintings that are more related to what I'm doing now.
Aha.
These wouldn't be too related, really, to the drawings and paintings that I did the last summer at Northwestern and the last summer at Wisconsin. It was a different, because they were paintings, so they were big paintings.
Right. But I've always felt like your whole series of drawings still does relate fundamentally to the paintings that I'm familiar with that, you were doing when I was growing up. And this one certainly relates to the last one. Wow, beautiful as well. And yeah, you've got the grainy surfaces.
More aquatic.
Mm-hmm. Dave says more aquatic. This one feels very watery.
There's a lot more vertical line than a lot of them.
This feels a little architectural too, almost like a portal into somewhere. I love these big shapes down here, particularly this one, and the way these move up this way.
This much of the drawing is.
Yeah, like that could be a composition. There's a lot of compositions within each one.
There's separate areas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's keep looking because I can't sit here much longer.
Okay, we'll keep
I'm
going.
getting more
This
more
looks like it
crippled
was
by the
about the
minute.
right amount. Yeah, we'll go a little quicker. This is a beauty. I remember, this
It's
must
a
go
horizontal
like
one.
this. Right. You've done quite a few. Some of I know you had paintings that I feel like relate quite a bit to this.
This one's much more painterly.
Yes, it relates probably the most to.
I started it much like I did most of the paintings. With a lot more free.
Yeah, it's very vigorous the way it moves. Yeah. Well, I'll keep going a little faster unless there's more you want to say so that you don't fall off your stool. Oh, and here's another. This relates to the one that I said looked like the temple. In fact, I think I was thinking of this one when we were looking at that one.
It could be.
Yeah, because it relates quite a bit. Once again, this central. Then you were talking about bridges
It's
in
sort
this
of the
one.
same theme, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting the way that's would be neat to see a lot of them on the wall at the same time to make those relations. Yeah. And this also, the way these borders feel like some kind of indigenous design or
They're balconies.
yeah. This one's really unusual. Yeah.
This one's pretty
one.
dynamic.
Yep, we've got it the right orientation. Yeah.
I like the small amount of red.
Mm-hmm. I love this big purple shape here, and then these blue shapes, especially that one, feel kind of figurative.
It's like the river runs through it.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one that really features the line again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
quite similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how the color creates a mood.
Dave said it's interesting how the color creates a mood.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Color's a big factor.
Oh, for sure. These are...
You know, you could use the same patterns and do it all different colors, and it would be different. You know, it'd be interesting to see how some work and some would work even better.
Yeah, even with modern, like the way you could now, you know, through whatever, make a print of the same linear pattern. That might be interesting to do. You know, you could,
yeah.
and you can do prints on really good quality paper now, and you know, have like 3 of the same linear structures and do 3 different versions.
I'm
with
just
3.
glad I had all
Yeah.
this paper
Yeah,
because it's great drawing paper.
it is. Yeah, where did you get it?
It has a nice body. I got it while I was still working at Edgewood.
Right. Wow, it hasn't yellowed at all. It must be, I hope it's 100% rag. Seems like it. It's not yellowing or anything.
No,
I mean, you haven't worked at Edgewood for
it's
what?
held up
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it does seem like really good quality. And this one, let's see, I'm looking for the signature. I think it's down here. Yes. Yep, goes like this. This one kind of relates to the one about 2 before that
Yeah.
had the blue shape. This reminds me somewhat.
This blue should be like this blue. Mm-hmm. Something's happened there.
Oh, so maybe now when you've
I'll
got
have
the new pencils,
Yeah, I'll have
you
to
could
go
go back. Right.
and sharpen that up because it's distracting.
Right. It wasn't like I could tell on that one where you had the red with a
Yeah,
muted
yeah.
tone that was intentional.
No, my
and
eye
this-
went right to that.
Right. I can see that doesn't quite look intentional. There's a teeny spot here too. Yeah. That looks the same. That it's, I don't know what happened, but yeah. Huh. Delamination or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then this one must go, yeah, like this.
That one's a winged creature too.
This also reminds me of paintings I remember, and not necessarily a specific
Yeah.
one, but you had some, I know there's one that, what did you call it? It was like red and blue, and it kind of zoomed up and out like
Yeah.
this. It had a lot of red, blue, black, and white. I don't know if you remember it.
Can you blend the colors as you're doing the pencil? That blue in the upper left corner is a really nice blue.
Dave was saying, can you blend the colors
Yes.
as you're working?
Yeah. No, I do that all.
Yeah, I can see here it's blended
yeah, I'll
blue
use
and purple.
white. Oh, if I want to tone it down, I'll use a white one on top of it. Or you can mix any of the colors.
Yeah, here I can see you definitely mixed blue and a purple.
Yeah.
Very lightly, and you're letting the white also become part of the color. This is another grainy one. And here you still
Yeah,
see...
it can take, 45 minutes to do one little area.
I believe it.
to get the effect.
Right, to get that even tone, whether it's the heavy,
Yeah, particularly
heavy layered
like
or
that large purple area.
right.
That doesn't just happen.
No. I love this area right here, these little, and here.
It's almost like we've seen him before. The bug eyes.
Yeah, a little bit like the one back a ways that you said looked like
I'm surprised that it's so similar.
but still quite different, but right, a relation. And that's what would be interesting about spreading them all out
Yeah.
at once to see those correlations. Yeah, here we go. This one's like this. Yeah.
Kind of forest-like.
Dave said kind of forest-like,
Yeah.
as are many of them, plant and forest. I always feel like you're doing kind of an organic abstraction.
I left a texture in all of these.
Yeah, and here's one where the line pretty much disappears,
Yeah.
you know, and it becomes more shape-like, as does this one. I mean, you can see a little bit of line here or there, but, oh yeah, and this one actually goes like this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it went that way.
Yep. Now it's interesting how, yeah, now this one I can see is much heavier than the grainy ones, and they become more shiny. You know, the way the light, the reflective light on it is different than the grainier ones.
That's it.
That's it for,
That's-
I mean, there's more in your stack in the bedroom, but
I don't
that's-
want. I can't
it's
look.
probably,
at it anymore.
yeah, I feel this was a good amount.
My-
Maybe we can look at some more tomorrow. But,
if there's time tomorrow,
yeah.
we could look.
yeah, it'd be nice. I think there's maybe about this many more in that stack, which I would love to see them again, because the lower you go down in the stack, I probably haven't seen those in
Yeah.
a year and a half or something. I can put them back in if you'd like, Dad.
Yeah.
And just, what do you do? Is it okay to go kind of, well...